Today I'm going to go over how you can breed these ultimate support pals. They will not only make you an absolute powerhouse in combat, but also help you rake in lots of cash and save time for all of your breeding plans. Let's get started. Yakumo's partner skill makes it so while it's out with you at the time of catching a pal, your Yakumo has a chance to transfer one or all of its passive skills onto the pal you just captured. This can save you a ton of time and cakes in the long run by being able to target specific passives. So for example, let's say you want to breed these 4 passive skills onto your Ignis. Depending on what pals and passives you have available, you may have to do lots of catching and breeding to make it up here with all of your specific passives. But investing the same amount of time breeding a Yakumo with these skills can eliminate most of these steps by simply catching the specific pals we need for our combos. Or in this case, we can just directly catch your Ignis since it's available in the Wildlife Sanctuary. Now, understandably, there are some limitations to this, or else it will be completely broken. First, you must have the saddle crafted, which unlocks at level 43. You cannot pass on these special or exclusive passive skills. The only way to acquire these passives is to catch the respective bosses and breed them with your other pals. As for the specific numbers on how the partner skill works, that's a bit unclear, but the general understanding seems to be that a fully condensed Yakumo has a 30% chance to randomly pass on one of its 4 skills, and then another 30% chance of that for the second one, and so on. I tested this for myself by catching 400 Gobfins. I'll go over the results at the end of the video. Now, statistically speaking, it's going to be extremely rare that you'll be able to transfer all 4 skills to a single pal with this ability. However, since we have a decent chance to pass on at least 2 of the 4 skills, we can simply keep catching until we have all 4 of the skills on our target pals. After that, we can just start breeding them, which I will go into more detail with examples in just a little bit. Now let's talk about Gobfin. It has a pretty strong partner skill, which passively increases the player's attack power by 10% as long as it's in your party. It goes up to a maximum of 20% when fully condensed, and also stacks with other Gobfins. This is super useful in the late game, as it makes you less reliant on your active pals and allows you to have more control when tackling some of the harder content like the oil rig. For the first 2 passives, we have Vanguard and Stronghold Strategist. So a 4-star Gobfin with these 2 passives will boost your attack by 30% and defense by 10%. A team full of them will give you a maximum of 150% attack and 50% defense, which is insane. For our next 2 passives, we're going to go with Noble and Fine Furs. These are described in the game as increases the value of items when sold by 5% and 3%. While researching for this video, I realized many people didn't fully understand the description of these skills. Here's how they actually work. As long as a pal with these passives is in your team, this effect is always active for anything you sell or buy in the game with gold coins. It has no effect on the dog coins, which are used to purchase special items. In other words, when you're selling an item or a pal, you sell for a higher price, and when you're buying, you get a discount. So having 5 pals in your party with these 2 passives when going shopping will give you a whopping 40% profit when selling and 40% discount when buying, which is absolutely insane. Now, these are all the Yakumo I finished breeding recently so that I have one ready to go whenever I need it in the future. In case you're interested, the link to this document is in the description. I'm going to use the support Yakumo to demonstrate the breeding process of getting all 4 passives onto one. There are lots of ways you can go about this, but here's 3 options to help you get started. Option 1, you can sort your pal box by a specific skill, then look up the combinations to start your breeding. So for example, when I searched for Stronghold Strategist, I got Incineram and Raindrix. Now let's go to palworld.gg and check out the breeding calculator. Looks like Incineram breeds with Sui to make Yakumo. But both my Incineram and Sui are female, so I would have to go capture a male Sui for this to work. My Raindrix can breed with Felbat, which I do have a male one, so I can just start breeding them until I get a Yakumo with Stronghold Strategist. Now just repeat the same process for the other 3 skills until you have a Yakumo with one of each passive. Then start breeding those Yakumo with each other until you get all 4 of the skills onto one. Option 2. If that feels like a hassle or you don't have all the passive skills you need, then capture the pal merchant found at this location, just throw him in your base and interact with him. If you don't like what he has to offer, then just take him out of the pal box, put him back in to reset his inventory. Option 3. If you're broke, then catch Gobfins. There's a ton of them in the swamp area. You can also just go to the settings and increase the pal appearance rate to 3 and the capture rate to 2 to make the grind easier. If you're going for 5 fully condensed Gobfins, then you'll need a total of 580 of them. You will likely get a couple of hundred as a byproduct of all the breeding you'll do. So catching 200 to 300 should easily get you all the passives you need to get started. It shouldn't take more than 15 to 20 minutes. I was able to catch 400 of them in a span of about 2 anime episodes, and I wasn't even rushing. You'll also need Krojiro or Chillet. They breed with Gobfin to make Yakumo. Now, when you're breeding for specific passive skills, you need patience, cakes, and some luck. There is really no trick or shortcut to it. You basically just have to keep breeding until you get the passives you want, then switch out the breeding pairs as you start narrowing down your desired passives. One quick tip, an easy way to get Legend onto your Yakumo if you don't already have it is with these two combos. And finally, here are the results of capturing 400 Gobfins with my Yakumo that had 4 of these passives. Obviously, the numbers will be more accurate if the data pool was bigger, but I think for this testing, 400 was enough. There seems to be a very good chance of passing on at least 1, maybe 2 passives, so simply just catching 8 to 10 pals, you have a very good shot of getting everything you need. I hope you found this information helpful. If you want to see more, here's a playlist of my other Palworld guides. There's more to come, so please be sure to subscribe. Thank you for watching. Peace!